If I'm running a dynamic routing protocol on an NBMA type network, I have to be very aware of the pitfalls that can happen. Now, we're not going to get into the full details, but a little bit of exposure goes a long way here. First, NBMA, non-broadcast multi-access. Think frame relay or ATM. Those are the big offenders of NBMA. Why? Because they can't broadcast. Now, I want you to look at this. Let's walk through a routing update and what would happen in this topology. If I were sending a routing advertisement with, let's say, RIP. I'm going to say RIP. That routing update would go all the way to the far side router. It would go all the way to the far side router and would be received on that same physical interface. Problem is, that interface does not want to regenerate that information back out. It is not going to relay that, I repeat, not going to relay that in the 2 additional arrows that I drew. Nope, not going to happen. In fact, those other routers would never see that update. Why? Because the split horizon rule stopped it. Now, there are a few situations that cause split horizon to be active, and then there are those that cause it to be inactive. EIGRP, RIP, and Border Gateway Protocol can be affected by split horizon. Now, Border Gateway Protocol is affected in a different way than this. So what we have to do is we have to think EIGRP. How does EIGRP run on top of frame relay? And in this case, you may have to turn off split horizon, specifically if you are running on a multi-point frame relay subinterface. You definitely have to turn it off for RIP running on frame relay though. OSPF. OSPF likes to discover neighbors with multicast hellos. But the problem is, multicasting is assuming that you're talking to everyone. And this discovery isn't going to happen on the fly. There's even specific commands that say, hey, you know what? I'm going to point you to your neighbor. I could set up a neighbor command to manually point between all these routers. That's a good way to go if you're looking for a simple and a little bit administrative burdening task. But it's a good way to go. And how do we replicate broadcasts? There's a command in frame relay configuration. Let's say you do the command frame-relay map IP 10.1.1.6. And let's give it a del C. 106. There's this command that is a frame relay map statement. Now, if you've worked with frame relay before, you may know that we're missing something. And what we're missing is the broadcast keyword that would sit at the end of this. That's a big deal. So anytime you do a frame relay map statement, you have to do the broadcast keyword that allows you to simulate broadcasts. Sometimes it's our frame relay config that will break our routing protocol config, and that's what we want to convey to you here.